Hey, what's up, guys? All right. I am so glad that the live stream is working again. Welcome, everybody. This is Chris Giuliano. I am your host for Trend Cloud Trading. This is the live trading room, and we go over the stock market, we go over futures, Forex, crypto, and we use the Trend Cloud process of doing that. And I'm really excited today because I'm actually going to be setting up a phone call with TradingView, and we're going to have a talk about how great the live stream is and all the benefits that everybody's getting out of it. So it's an excellent service. Really happy to be a part of it and share my thoughts on the TradingView live stream. So if you guys have any questions at all, if you want to see me pull up one of the futures contracts or a particular stock that you want to see, just type it into the chat. And we're also streaming live on YouTube as well. So let me just make sure that I have that up. Let me bring up the chat here. Hey, there he is. What's up? What's up, Krishnan? Good to see you. All right. So, okay. So let's get started. Let's jump right into the metals market, guys, right? Because metals open up around 8:20 a.m. Eastern. And let's see what is going on in the metals market. We'll jump over to the micro gold here. And let's just clear the charts. Let's clear the drawings off. We've got the opening range breakout tool on there right now. And oh, you sent me an email, Krishnan. We'll talk later. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Leah, let's jump on a call. Absolutely. Let's see here. So micro gold, we got the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 15-minute on here. We were extended on gold, right? We were just going up on gold. I mean, just look at this on that high time frame, and it became extended, right? So on your trend cloud, you'll see the trend cloud system will paint the candles ice blue when the trend becomes extended. And here you can see that the trend is extended. We're in that seventh wave, right? There's 5 waves in an average trend. This reached the 7th wave. Candles are all blue. You don't want to be going long here any longer. You want to wait. And that's what we're doing right now. We're sort of waiting for, a trend to occur on the lower time frames, and looks like we've got that now, right? So we've broken back to the upside here. You can see that we're cycling up. Trend is just the momentum is crossing that 0 line on the MACD, and we're still running into this right here, right here. This is pretty much the area that we need to clear to be, more conservative on our trade back to the upside. But momentum is on our side. So we're sort of slamming into this high time frame line in the sand here, right? This green line that you're seeing here, okay? This whole line here, right? That is our line in the sand. That's the 50 simple moving average. And it is a major level of resistance in this particular case, right? So, hey, good morning, Kazi. Good morning, Hitch. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. So that's our line in the sand, right? So on the high time frame, you've got to look at trend cloud as your major levels of support and resistance, right? These are major levels of support and resistance. Any kind of moving average highest time frame takes precedence always. So here we've got the 100 and the 200 as well. Why do we have those on the chart? Well, they're pretty much everybody is looking at those big banks, big hedge funds. They're used a lot, and therefore we want to take that into consideration. But again, we want to look at the moving averages, which are support and resistance levels. We want to look at that always on the highest time frame, not so much on the lower time frames, but definitely on the higher time frames, higher. So, rather than get confused like, oh, well, I see it on the 1 hour chart and it's also on the 4 hour chart. Well, which one do I look at? Default to the higher time frame. Okay, guys, just default to the higher time frame. If you're still confused, then something is off and you're probably looking at mixed signals. And that's one of the things that Trend Cloud solves and actually teaches you to line everything up. When you have Trend Cloud on each time frame, it's actually going to train you to look for consistency. It's going to train you to look for everything going in the same direction. Trend Cloud is green on the high time frame, green on the middle, and green on the lower time frame. Momentum is up on all three time frames. I'm seeing it now. Okay, so when you color code each time frame, it's much easier to see everything going in the same direction. Okay, that's the concept behind Trend Cloud. It's a really great tool that will help you understand price action. And when you can read price action like a pro, when you can read price action, you can apply any trading strategy way more effectively. And that is sort of how you become a better technical analyst, right? So, and that's what we're here for, right? We're here to learn, and we're here to be, get better at reading technical analysis, reading the charts, because then, if you think about it, you could learn a new strategy in relatively a short amount of time. What I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. You can learn a new strategy. It's applying that new strategy to your charts and managing the risk that is really the tough part, right? And that takes a deep understanding of what these charts mean and how price action works, right? That is the tough part, and that takes years. All right, that takes years. So when learning a new strategy, you definitely get into the simulator, stay in there, make all the mistakes in the simulator. And then when you go live, you really want to have a working knowledge of how every piece of this thing works. So that is always my advice. So that's what's going on in gold, right? We are, let me get rid of that line. We are entering into a supply zone, right? This is a supply zone here. It's actually two levels on one, right? We've got this rally-based drop, and we've got this rally-based drop over here. I think that's a rally-based drop, right? Yeah, rally, base, drop. And then we've got a drop, base, drop. Okay, so kind of two and one. And when that happens, you can just sort of take the top part where everything hits. See how it touches here, and we're also in that supply zone right now. So just draw it out like that. You don't have to get caught up in the minutia of everything. So, so do we take this retest here? We're starting to retest the opening range. We've got momentum on our side, But look, this is the first time that we're hitting the 50. Okay, it hit here, and that was on, what was that? The Wednesday, that was yesterday, and now we're hitting it again. So hopefully we can get through it. But we are slamming into some some levels of resistance here. It would be aggressive to take this. Okay, it'd be aggressive to take this, but I really want to clear this first, or at least just you just break above it, because we're running into a brick wall, right? We're sort of you never want to buy into resistance, and you never want to short into supply or into support. You don't want to short into support, right? And you don't want to buy into resistance. Also, right? Larry, what would Larry Rule? What would Larry Height say about this? As far as asymmetrical leverage goes, right? What's asymmetrical leverage? That is your entry, right? Let's say your entry point is down here. Is this at least 3 to 5 times greater in length? And it's really not, right? So if we enter the trade here, what are we going to do? Take it back to here? That's kind of a short move. It's not really what we want, right? We want to get in on moves that look like this. So let's take this for instance. Let's focus on the 4-hour chart here. We want to get into situations where this is brand new, right? The trend is brand new. Let me get rid of here. Let me just turn this off for a second. So let's do some classical charting here. Here's a trend line, right? You can even make it a channel, right? Okay. Classical charting. Here's the break, right? Here's the break of structure. This is a trend line break. Okay, great. What are we running into here? Well, we're running into this right here, right? Let's go into replay. So here we are. We've got this rally-based drop in this downtrend, and let's just move forward here. Boom, right there, okay? So you see how we broke through that trend line. We had a trend line break, and we broke through supply. Okay. Now let's start looking at this. So it broke through structure right there. So now we broke through. Now, what are we looking at? Well, don't we have this right here? And let's see, do we get it? Kind of pulls back and doesn't pull back as far. So the next break of structure is right here, right? So we could be looking at this situation here. If we go back to the lower time frames, can we find something in here that will take us to the upside? Okay. And what do we see here? Let's go over and just work this out. Let me go to the time. And this is how you learn, right, guys? Recalculate the charts. Let's turn that off for now and go back here. Okay. So we are right here in this particular moment. And what does it do? Oh, look at that. Okay. So doesn't pull back all the way, but what it does and what we'd be looking for is a break of that high, right? A break of that high. And there you go. It breaks through. Now what are we looking for? So now we are here. Now we're here. Now what are we looking for? Well, now we're looking for this area, right? Didn't come back to here. Still a possibility, right? But look at what we've got now. Let me bring this over. And this is on the hourly chart, right? This is an hourly zone. So we've got this whole thing, right? We've actually got this right here, right? This drop base rally. Okay, great. Let's make that green. Oops. Okay, make that green. What did I just do here? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me recalculate. There we go. Okay. So make that green. There's your sort of weird looking rally base drop thing. On the lower time frame, what does that look like? On the 15-minute chart, it's kind of far back, so we can't really see it, right? Can't really see it. It's kind of far back. But all in all, we've got this drop base rally thing, right? Okay, so that's our entry. So we had to break two pieces of structure here. We broke through the trend line, and then we broke through this area here, right? At first, pulls back, forms a new zone, and then breaks through again. Now it pulls back into that supply zone, and there's your big move up. Okay, so what did that cost us? And this is the micro gold. Okay, so there's your $142 risk, 213 for 3 contracts. That's over our limit, right? That's over 1%. Can't do it. So we got to keep it at 2 contracts. And there's your move. Asymmetrical leverage here, right? Here's our entry. And there's nothing to stop this. Here's the market edge all the way up here. Here's your market edge, right? Pretty far. So we enter the trade, goes all the way back up to supply, and breaks through that. And then we start looking again. We start looking for our zones, right? Sort of just misses it, doesn't it? Right there. Just misses it. Do we get another chance here? Do we get another chance? Let's bring that over and just mark it off on the chart. Okay, so right here, it's pulling back. It's pulling back into this area on the lower time frame. Drop base rally. Doesn't make it. Doesn't always happen, right? So we would have missed this trade. It would have pulled back, and we would have had to have looked for another move. Sometimes it doesn't hit, right? Sometimes it doesn't hit. But look what does happen on that low time frame, right? We kind of go sideways here. Let's close out of that. Look how we go extended and then sideways. this whole thing here, right? From here down to here, all sideways movement. So all of this ends up being chop, right? It all ends up being chop. So, we've got to wait. So now we're looking at this and we're saying, all right, didn't pull back, didn't hit our zone. That would have been great. That would have been a huge moneymaker if it did. But it doesn't always happen, right? What do we get? Well, we're getting signals, aren't we? See, that's why you've got to have a couple of tools in your arsenal you've got to have a couple of tools in your arsenal to really evaluate what's going on, right? And that's where Trend Cloud comes in. Yeah, I'm really happy that the stream is working again, Kazi. I know. I'm really happy it's working again. So let's see if we get some signals here. It's like, okay, we missed the zone. It didn't pull back far enough for us to get into that demand zone. Now we get the crossover here on Trend Cloud and we start getting signals. Okay, what time is it here? All right, let's get to a decent hour, November 23rd. Okay, so all of this happened Monday the 27th, very late at night, right? This is all very late at night. What do we got here? 4 o'clock in the morning. That's really not peak hours, right? Finally, right here, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's, from 7 to 11. That's the real sweet spot, right? With futures. So we're getting a deep pullback here, and maybe we're looking at the bottom part of this consolidation. And it makes a little bit of a false breakout here, right, to the downside. Now let's put on the opening range. All right, let's put on the opening range, and there it is. All right. So you can see right here, let me extend those lines for you. Opening range, extend historical lines. Come on. Give it a second, guys. There you go. So here we get a breakout. So it missed our zone down here. It missed this demand zone, and it broke out to the upside, and it just never came back. It's like, how do you get in on this stuff? You would have had to have taken the actual breakout, and we know how terrible that is because it will break to the downside, break to the upside, and stop you out a couple of times, and then just take off, right? So you can never formulate any type of a trade plan that's going to encompass, every possible outcome. That's the frustrating part of it, and you'll drive yourself crazy. The best technical analysts out there, that's what they say. Larry Hite says it. Mark Douglas says it. There's a guy, Peter Brandt. He said it as well. You can't formulate some kind of trade plan that's going to encompass every possible outcome. You can only trade what you see, right? 4% pop on Alphabet pre-bell. Really? Okay. Well, what's going on? Let's take a look. We're almost at 9:30 here. So that's a good lesson there, guys. So what happened in gold that day? It broke out, never came back. You can't. You can only read it, right? You can only read this thing and start looking for pullbacks. Take a look here. Do you see how all of this never comes back and touches inside the trend cloud? This is very strong. This is a very strong move to the upside. So perhaps dropping down, okay, and we're going to lose this if we do, but if we drop down to the 5-minute, let's see if we could scroll back and find that vertical axis line. There we go. Do we get it on the 5-minute? And there it is. Okay, so take a look. If you're in a very strong uptrend on your 15-minute chart and you don't see any pullbacks or demand zones, drop down to the 5-minute and see if you can catch some signals on a strong uptrend on that 15-minute chart. So let me leave this here and let's take a look at that. Okay. Middle time frame, let's do 15-minute. Okay, now we can see strong uptrend on the 15-minute chart. Okay. It's not even pulling back into the cloud. We've just broken out of consolidation. Very strong. CCI broke above positive 200. Very strong. And what does it look like on that 4-hour chart here? Okay. And look at the 4-hour chart, guys. Okay, look at the 4-hour chart. What do we see? Cycling up, momentum up. Middle time frame. Trend is up. Momentum is up. 5-minute. Trend cloud signals. Trend cloud signals, right? So, you know, that's how you have to use these tools. Okay, so you can see that we've got signals here, but we don't really have any sort of demand zone to pull back into, right? We don't really have it. We've just got this little sideways action. It's pulling back here, and we're getting signals. And how you would take that is you would take that right there. So there's your entry, and there's your stop loss. Okay. Enter. Buy 2. Stop loss goes right there. Okay, and you can see, we could hold a lot of contracts there, right? Right there, 5 contracts. So you're good for 5 contracts right there, and you'd follow this thing up, okay, until it pretty much stops you out. Okay, so let's clear that chart, and let's get rid of this. So those are really good examples, okay, of how to read price action using Trend Cloud, okay? All right, recalculate everything, and let's put Trend Cloud back. 1-hour chart and 15-minute. Okay, we'll put everything back to standard, and let's take it off of time. Otherwise, we'll be jumping around all over the place. Okay, so Facebook ad claims 98%. Oh, wow. So, yeah, okay. So when they're talking about what they're seeing on the option chain. So if you look at option chains, it'll tell you, oh, this option chain is 86% accurate, or this option chain is 98% accurate. It will show you that, but the risk to reward is inverted, and there is a ceiling on the profit. So it's very deceptive when these guys talk about, oh, it's not a plan. It's not a trading system. It's an option chain. It's nothing they built, you know? So just be aware of that when people come at you, and it's just really deceptive, but they're doing it for marketing, right? They're doing it for marketing. It's like, oh, I've got something, so you would have to risk $600 to make $300. That kind of went against everything. When I learned that, because I did an internship with this hedge fund guy, and when I learned that about options, I was like, well, wait a second. That kind of goes against my philosophy. That goes against the grain of who I am. I don't want that. Yeah. So that's really deceptive. And I know, man. I hate when I see that. I hate when I see that. So yeah. So you'd have to risk $600 just to make $300, and but hey, it's 86% accurate, or this guy is saying 98% accurate. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen an option chain that was 98% accurate. But so that's what they're talking about there. So you just want to be careful with that. I don't like that type of marketing. We're here to learn and really understand how to read price action. And you've got all these people who might be talking very confidently, 98% accuracy, come with me, buy my stuff. It's like, whoa, okay, 98%er. So yeah, that's what they're talking about. That's what they're talking about. So, all right, let's take a look. Let's go take a look at the Goog. Let me see. I think I have that in. Do I have that in the stock list here? No, let's add it to the stock list. Okay. Let's take a look. Wow. All right, that's some kind of news there, huh? I'm going to right click onto the chart here, add Google to watch list, stocks. There you go. Now it's up there. Excellent. Okay. All right, let's read some charts here. Let's remove all of this. So let's go out to the daily, and let's just take a look at the daily here. Recalculate. Do a little classical charting, right? I mean, that's pretty consistent, man. Look at that. That's pretty consistent. And the way I like to draw these charts, I like to be dynamic with the charts. So at this point in time right here, and you see how I'm using the body of the candles? I'm just touching the corner of the body of the candle here. As soon as what I'm looking for here is this, guys. I'm looking for a break of this structure, right? And we got it. Okay, very good. Pulls back. Now I'm looking for a break of this structure right here. Okay. Pulls back to here and breaks through, right? Interesting if we drag that across, what that makes. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Very simple, classic charting here, right? So we break through and go sideways. Now, what are we looking for on this pullback? Well, we're looking for a break here, right? It does that and pulls back to here. So if I extend this line, I'm going to extend it like this now. And you can see how it's pretty, it's pretty accurate. Interesting, right? False breakout to the downside, look left, structure leaves clues. Right here. Okay? Can even make this whole thing here, this gap fill. Pulls back, hits that entry. Okay, now let's put trend cloud. And what's this thing doing here? Google's going up, it's going up. We do have a crossover. We don't want to short. We never want to short Google, right? So we've got this huge gap up here. Can you start accumulating? Sure. Yeah. We've got the crossover again. So each crossover to the upside on trend cloud, that's an accumulation area. So we can accumulate. Would have been nice to to watch this take place. You could look for your option chains down here, right? I don't want to give the impression that options are bad. I'm saying to be aware of people that are saying, hey, I got something to teach you and it's 98% accurate. It's an option chain. They're talking about an option chain. So if you if you look at the option chain here, you could get in on that, and you're looking to invest, so you buy the option chain like a year out, and you can go to your finance guy, and you can say, hey, listen, I want to start accumulating options on Google, in this area here. Okay. And they'll understand right away, and you let them know it's for an investment. 600 plus on CC. Wow. Is it really? Holy moly. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I've got mine is saying 400 here. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, okay, so this massive uptrend. What do stocks like to do? Well, they definitely like to fill the gap, right? This may this may be kind of expensive right now, right, to buy, but we're running into this. So let's see if we get some kind of reaction. Can we break through all this? So there's your resistance up here, right? And it looks like it may, it could form some kind of double top here. Well, actually, that wouldn't be. I mean, if we look at the daily chart on this, let's get rid of all the lines. So here we are. We're at an all-time high, right, guys? With Google. There we go. Why don't we draw it like that? That makes sense. Okay, so do we get some sort of, bouncing around here? That's possible. There we go. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Makes sense, right? So maybe we get something that looks like this until a breakout. Maybe it happens quicker. But it definitely might want to fill this gap here. So here's the close. Here's the close of this candle right here. So does this want to come down and fill the gap for the move up? See, when you draw out your plan, now you've got a plan of action there, right? Okay. Maybe it comes down and just hits that 100 simple for the move up. Okay. So looking for option chains and looking to invest, on these crossovers, right? So accumulate, right? So we accumulate, pulls back, accumulate, right? You always accumulate on the crossover back to the upside. So if you accumulated Google all down here, look where you're at. Okay, that wasn't too long ago, right? February. So it looks like in February you had accumulate, and now look where we're at. So we're in the same situation in November, right? Accumulate. That's all you can do. That's how you would use TrendCloud to invest in stocks that you believe in. Okay. All right, we're almost at 9:45, so let's go start looking at the indexes here. Let's bring up our green list, and let's head over to the indexes. Bring this back to 4, calculate the charts. Okay. Micro S&P, what's going on, Micro? Let's see what's going on here. Sideways movement on that 4-hour chart, right? Sideways movement. Let's make some lines. Boom. And boom. Okay. Sideways action. Okay, if we tighten this up, there we go. Lot of chop. Very strong movement on that 15-minute chart. So remember on the 15-minute with gold, what happened? Let's bring up the 15-minute here. Come on. Nice strong move to the upside. Drop down to the 5. And there's your signals, right? 5 o'clock in the morning. There you go. 7 o'clock in the morning right there. Right, Krishnan? 7 to 11. I know Krishnan's up early looking at this stuff. There's your signals there for the that upward move. Now, if we're looking at this, can we look at the 45-minute? Yes, we can. So see how I've got the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 45, right? Each one divisible by 3, right? 5 times 3, 15, 15 times 3, 45. So if you line your charts up like that with a system like this, like TrendCloud, you can read momentum and trend in a multiple time frame way. That's multiple time frame analysis. So it's given some really nice signals, and that technique actually works very well on the indexes. Okay. That system works best on the indexes from what I've seen and from what I've back tested. And you can see here, do we, what is that, 725? Yeah, let's drop a vertical axis line there. Yeah. Here's your entry signal. Where are we on momentum? It's above positive 100. We got the trend cloud crossover on that middle time frame. Cycling up, momentum is up, right? So the only piece of the puzzle missing is that we are candles are red on the highest time frame. But we're getting this move to the upside, and look at the risk to reward. Look at the asymmetrical leverage here, right? I mean, look how tiny these candles are. When you see small candles like that, you know, we love that. Let me even recalculate this chart. Yeah. Because look at the entry, right? Entry would be here. Stop loss would be here, right? Yeah, even closer. Let's get rid of that. Right? Stop loss goes there. It does, and it just misses, right? It comes back, it just misses it. But what would the entry be? Buy 3 on the micro, bring it here. Yeah. So you could really increase, you could really, if you max out on that 11 contracts, right? So you could really scale out of that position there. You could really scale out of that position. Enter the trade. You know, where would you be? You know, where, I mean, what are we up to right now? Yeah, that's $1,000 for the day already. And now it's pulling back. And here you've got this rally base rally here, right? You've got that rally base rally. If it pulls back into this, maybe it stops us out here. But what we could look for is everything that's inside here, you know, for that short-term move. So, you know, early in the morning, this works best early in the morning, and you will see those signals. Now at 9:45, we're probably looking at something with that opening range breakout, right? So let's jump back to 4, 1, and 15. And now let's apply the opening range, okay? And let's see what it tells us. Aha, interesting. Okay, so opening range, even though momentum, everything is to the upside, right? Right, we're breaking above the trend cloud here. Momentum is up on both time frames, cycling up, but we are breaking to the downside. Okay, we're breaking to the downside here. Strong upward momentum. A lot of support levels. A lot of support levels. Previous week's open, previous day's open. What would this be considered? Probably a bear trap, right? So what do we do? Here's your cycle indicator on that 15-minute chart. We can wait for something like that and then start looking at this, because there's really nothing here until we get back down to here, right? Here's where all the buyers came in. This is where all the buyers came in, where all your signals are. And that's pretty far. I mean, that's a pretty far move. This candle is even revealing where all the buyers came in, isn't it? Right? That's it right there. Hey, if it comes back down to here, great. What if it does something like this, guys? What's your read on this? Oh, I have this on the 5-minute. Hold on. Oh, yeah. No, that's right. Okay. So, I'll look at that. 5-minute and 15-minute are actually the same. Huh. What's your read, guys, on doing something like this? breaks to the downside, pulls back. Are we taking the retest down to here? What's the problem with doing that? We got all this momentum. We got all this momentum to the upside, and we're in between. It's still trying to choose, trying to rack your brains about, oh, well, it's not quite there yet, but what do I do? Well, you just kind of sit back and observe. Whenever you find yourself, like, what do I do? I don't know. Step back. Okay, that's what you do. When you find yourself asking a whole bunch of questions to yourself and you're not really sure, then default to step back. Just default to let me watch and learn, and then document it. Write it down. Write down what happened. It will help you remember. Okay, so in this situation here, we're breaking out to the downside with a whole bunch of upward momentum, and that high time frame is cycling up. 5, 15, 45. How about now? Okay, so now you've got more evidence on these smaller time frames. You've got more evidence to the upside, don't you? So we're pulling back into the trend cloud, and we are making a move up, but there's no real, I guess that this is a small level here. Did this level break anything? Now you have to evaluate. You got to evaluate your zone here. Okay, so that little zone broke through some structure, right? It broke through some structure on that 15-minute chart, getting a nice upward candle there. What would I be more comfortable doing here? Well, we couldn't get in on this thing because it already happened, right? We don't know how far down this thing is going to go. So why not wait for this? Right? If we break out to the upside on these time frames here, then let's take the retest of that. Okay, and we'll have this, maybe this turns into a drop base rally, right? Maybe that turns into a drop base rally that we can take advantage of or capitalize on, right? Like this. And we take the bottom part like that. We take the bottom part of this of this opening range. Here on the 5-minute, look at the cycle indicator on that 5-minute chart. It's at the bottom. When we start to hook up, maybe a couple of candles form, and then the breakout. So maybe this happens more around like 10:30, 11 o'clock, a little later in the day. But you can see how if we took the signals, around 7 in the morning, right here, we would have made our money already. Right. So that's just another way of looking. All the momentum is towards the upside. That's right. Yep, exactly. And you see how easy it is to see that, Kazi? It's like it's on the chart. It's on our charts, right? Momentum filter, high time frame. CCI indicator, middle time frame, right? It's all the momentum you need to say, okay, this thing, momentum's to the upside. So when you see momentum on multiple time frames to the upside, then you want to pull out of your toolbox the strategies that are going to work best for that momentum, right? What's going to work well for upward momentum? Oh, let's see. High time frame momentum is up. Middle time frame momentum is up. Why don't I start looking for some trend cloud signals to the upside here, right? Why don't I, and if it's later in the day, why don't I start looking for that breakout to the upside and then take the retest? Okay. You've got to be able to put this stuff together clearly in your head so that you can employ the correct strategy, right? Early in the morning, we don't have the opening range this early in the morning, but we've got momentum to the upside. We're cycling up. Momentum is above positive 100 on the CCI. Okay. We're getting some signals now. Let's take these signals to the upside, right? Because it's early in the morning. We don't have the opening range yet. Now that we do have the opening range, it's breaking out to the downside here. Well, that goes against everything that I'm looking at, doesn't it? That goes against everything that I'm looking at. So it's the when and where, right? What strategy do we apply? At this moment in time, right? It's 9:57 in the morning. We've got the opening range breakout, and it's breaking out to the downside. Well, that's kind of weird. It's breaking out to the downside right into that trend cloud. And it's breaking out right into that trend cloud, but momentum is up. So I don't want to go short. I don't want to short this. We got the crossover here, right? So we've got an uptrend on the 15-minute. We've got an uptrend on the 5-minute. 45-minute has broken above our line in the sand here, and it looks like it really wants to make a crossover. So you see, we're looking at all of this stuff on the shorter time frame. 5, 15, 45. And we've got something, right? We've got something very significant. So let's try to capitalize on it. And that's what you do with everything that you look at. That's what you do with every instrument you look at, especially in the futures market and in the Forex market as well. You will see that. So you've got shorter time frames, and then you've got that classical longer time frame that we all learned. If you went to Online Trading Academy, that's a pretty standard process that they follow there as well, right? The daily or 4-hour chart for the high time frame, 1 hour middle time frame, 15-minute low time frame, between 15 and 5, depending on how that formation looks. Do we have a more cleaner looking formation on the 5-minute chart or the 15-minute chart? And that's how you would approach it. So this is still forming here. Let's compare the micro S&P now to the micro Dow and see if there's any difference. Okay. Again, 5, 15, 45. Look at this now, guys. Look at how the 45-minute chart here ran into that trend cloud, into, hit that 100 simple, okay, and is pretty much bouncing between the 100 and 200 simple moving average. See that? Bouncing in between. Little different, right? Little different than the micro S&P. Micro S&P, it has broken through the trend cloud. We're above trend cloud here. See that? We are above the trend cloud here. We've broken through the 200 and the 100. All right, and it's pulling back. It's pulling back into into that area. What is that? Weird looking thing there. So a little different situation, right? Bouncing off of that trend cloud and making a move up. Go back to the micro Dow. Micro Dow, again, momentum is up, right? We're cycling up, and we're at the bottom of that 15-minute opening range, right? This is what it looks like on the 5-minute chart here. 5-minute candles with the 15-minute opening range, okay? So we made a nice move, but that's a extreme move up, and we're making an extreme move down. 15-minute chart has, let's see, from here to here, this rally base rally, okay? This rally base rally here, and it's pulling back into that, but here's the rejection right here. So at the very top, look at where the rejection came from. Very strong rejection candle there. Different story, right? Telling a different story. So, do you go long here, back up to this, and, you'll end up getting this, right? You'll end up getting that thing. We don't like that. That does not look like asymmetrical leverage, right? We want to get in on something like this all the way to the downside, right? Let's take a look at the micro NASDAQ. Micro NASDAQ. Now look at the micro NASDAQ. Micro NASDAQ is looking like the best story, isn't it? Let's clear all of this. Micro NASDAQ, we have the crossover on that 45-minute chart, right? And on the micro ES here, we're almost there. We don't quite have it yet. See that, guys? Micro NASDAQ, we have the crossover, and it's breaking above. We even have green candles. Okay, now we're green across the board. We're green across the board, and on that 5-minute chart, we've gone extended. So we might be looking for some kind of deep pullback here. Here's where we can start looking for some kind of bear trap. All right? And momentum here is showing. So momentum is down, is pulling back. So we might have some sort of pullback into this, this structure here. And we'd be pulling back with that middle time frame momentum. Okay? Let's take a look at the NASDAQ on the higher time frames and see if we can get a better read. See, we're just gathering information. 15-minute chart. Okay. So look what we've got. 4-hour chart, momentum cycling up, momentum is up. Middle chart, momentum is up, breaking above the trend cloud here. Don't quite have the crossover yet, right? And all in here is supply. So unfortunately, we're running into supply. So it's like it might look good, and then on another chart it looks terrible, right? One chart looks great, the other chart doesn't look so great. In that case, look, just kind of observe and step back. But talk yourself through it and read what's going on, right? All this momentum is looking great. We just ran into trouble when we got up here. And here's where, right here, the candles don't lie, right? So right here is where we ran into a wall. If we were going to get in on this, where would we get in? Well, let's take a look. low time frame. Maybe we get a pullback into this consolidation area. It's pulling back. Let's put Fibonacci. See, we're just trying to build. Okay, 50% retracement level is right inside the cloud. Here's the 618, and down here you've got all this consolidation. Okay, so I would make the observation. Either wait for this to pull back into this area and make some kind of a move like this, right? When you see that break of structure, or let it do its thing and wait for, if it goes shallow, wait for this. Wait for a breakout to the upside, a pullback, and then take the trade somewhere in here, right? For that move out. Wait for the strategy to fit the momentum that's taking place across all three time frames. That's always the better way to go, right? If you're going to be aggressive with any type of entry, make sure the strategy you're putting in place fits the momentum across those time frames. Does that make sense, guys? So this is really good. This is a really good strategic lesson that we're doing today for applying momentum on multiple time frames to the strategy you're going to use. And that will get you into better trades. That will get you into better trades. And Trend Cloud is that visual representation on your charts. Okay, so that's how you have to use Trend Cloud to do that. I think I'm going to do a. I think in the Facebook group, the mastermind group that we have, I'm going to start doing live events in there where everybody can sort of get together, because not everybody can get to this time to look at the live stream. So I think I'm going to live stream. I'll set up a live webinar inside of our mastermind group. Everybody that's listening right now, the mastermind group is what that's the paid membership, the Trend Cloud membership. So if you're become a part of Trend Cloud, you will have access to that mastermind group. And what we're going to start doing is live webinars where we can do Q&A inside of the mastermind group, just for the members, just for the Trend Cloud members. Again, I think that would be really valuable. This way, more of us get to interact. You guys get to meet each other more and have discussions. And you might end up having the same questions. And that's what I always benefited from asking a question or wanting to ask a question, and then seeing somebody else ask the same question. It's really, it becomes really powerful. I've noticed that some of my, I have noticed most of my trades fail against the trend trade, and huge upsides when all time frames are in alignment. Usually the first Trend Cloud crossover or the first pullback to the Trend Cloud. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Kazi. Yeah. The first pullback, the first pullback, let's take a look at, let's take a look. Here's that 1 hour chart. Again, remember, highest time frame always takes precedence, right? So what you just described, Kazi, what you just described, notice what time frame it's on. You'll probably see that more on the highest time frame, right? Here's the crossover. Here's the first pullback. There's your first signal. Boom, down, right? Here's the crossover. and this thing just takes off, right? It just kind of takes off. Here's the first signal on a pullback into the trend cloud. Does it work? Yeah. Here's the second signal. That works and then goes sideways. Then third, fourth, fifth signal, not so much, right? Now you got sideways movement. So great observation there. See, so great question from Kazi. Great observation. And that's really what makes the live stream and everything so powerful and valuable. Just pointing out experiences as to what happened. That's like back testing. You know, that is just like back testing. So so that would be interesting to observe in the history, and we're doing it now, right? Highest time frame, crossover. Here's your trend cloud crossover. First signal. There you go. All of this, right? You might see signals on the lower time frames, right? There's the crossover. Let's go to time. Click onto time so that you can click back here and it will bring you to that spot. I didn't want another thingamajig there. Okay. Recalculate your charts. Okay. And then click back here and it will bring the other time frames there. See how I did that? So here we have the crossover, and it's very strong. It's so strong even on the 1 hour chart. Okay. But look what we've got right there. 15-minute chart, there's your signal. Okay. So if you look for the crossover on the highest time frame, look for the crossover on that highest time frame, and start looking for these pullbacks. Well, here's the crossover on the 1 hour chart, and even that, the trend is so strong, it doesn't pull back into the trend cloud to give you a signal, right? Doesn't pull back in there to give you a signal. It forms some zones, right? Definitely, we formed a zone here, right? Pulls back into here. That's kind of sloppy looking. I don't know this. And then go to your low time frame. Okay, and you can see, all right, well, in this consolidation here, we formed a signal, right? And then it goes extended on that 15-minute chart. But you can see, and that happened, well, unfortunately, that happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? So if you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you see that, hey, great, So that's the other tough part, right, guys? It's like you can go back in time and you can find this. Oh, okay, crossover on the high time frame, 1 hour chart, right? Momentum is good. We're above that positive 200, pulls back into the blue shaded area. Momentum is up on both time frames. Looking good. There's the signal. Great. Take the trade. And you would take that trade one tick above that candle, put your stop in the morning, So, it is what it is. Now here's 10:15 in the morning. You got another signal, but the trend is extended. The trend is extended, and it ends up working, right? It ends up working and then recalculating here and making a big move up. What's this? 8:30 in the morning, we get a strong signal to the upside, right? Why would we ignore these signals here on the 15-minute chart in this situation? Why would we ignore this down signal? Let's put a line on it. We're not going to take that, right? Because first of all, middle time frame uptrend, high time frame uptrend, and look at that, we've got the 200. I just noticed that. We've got the 200 moving average right there. Pretty cool. 200 moving average is right there. on this downward move. So that's a support level, right? So we might be looking at that, trying to say, hey, maybe we'll get a signal here. So we would be ignoring this downward signal. This signal here took place, unfortunately, on this really long candle here. Drop down to the 5. Let's take a look at it now. Yeah, still pretty much the same, right? So again, on the 5-minute, we'd be ignoring all of this. Here's the crossover. And there's your signal to go long, right? So in this case, it doesn't give you the best risk to reward, does it? That's pretty long there. Does it work? Yep. It definitely works. It just gives you kind of a crummy entry, right? So what would that cost? Buy. There's your stop loss. Would have been over. So we wouldn't have been able to take this trade because it would have been too expensive. So what would you have to do? Keep the stop loss there, and you'd have to do this, right? You'd have to say, hey, you know what? I really need to keep this under $200, and there you go. You made it. So it did work right there. So, well, actually, it would have to have broken out of here first, right? So, it would have to have broken out, and then maybe you put your stop, right at 200, and boom, it misses, right? Pulls back and it misses it, right? Unless you got in, there, you choked up. It's possible you could have gotten in on this, because you could have said, okay, this is way too expensive, but I want to keep my stop there and take the trade anywhere inside of, this area, being that it did break out. So if it broke out right here. And so, yeah, actually it did make it. So if you put it at 200 right there, you did make this trade. If you missed it, guess what? Here's some signals. What if we missed that, right? We're extended here, but we're early in the trend on the higher time frames, right? So we still got some way to go. Here's the signal right here. There's your entry. Here's your stop loss. How much does that cost? Entry. Stop loss. Yeah, definitely. Right? Can we get 2 contracts in there? We'd have to pull this to there. There you go. So there you go. There's your entry. Always keep the stop loss, adjust the entry. Keep the stop loss, adjust the entry. And maybe you'll get lucky, and it'll hit, and you'll take the trade. Okay? So 5-1 again on crude. Wow. Check yesterday crude. Oh, wow. Let's take a look. Let's go over that. Micro crude. Let's recalculate our charts. Four-hour, 1 hour, 5-minute. Okay, let's bring up the 5-minute opening range. Here's today. Let's go to yesterday. See how easy it is to scroll back? Oh, here's yesterday. Okay, there we go. Let's extend those historical lines. See, when you have the right tools, it actually makes machines that make other machines. Okay. And I always used to love going over there as a kid, because he always had all of these different tools. He had a tool for everything. Like, oh, you need to rethread a screw? Yeah, here, this is how you do it. He's got a tool for that. He's got a tool for everything, so that's what you need. That's what you need. So we need to extend these lines. So we have a tool for that. We've got an open range, indicator here. So yeah, let's take a look here. Beautiful, right? Real nice move. Look at those. We get great signals on it as well. So here, let's clear off these drawings. Okay. So, whoops. Sorry, guys. Let me take it off of, let's take it off of time. See, you have to adjust your tools, right? Scroll back to yesterday. Oh my goodness, sorry. Okay, I'm messing up here. Existing pane above. There we go. Okay. All right. Finally, here we are. Let's take a look. High time frame, right? Grab that vertical axis and let's go over. So here we are. Trend is down, cycling down, momentum is down, high time frame. Trend is down, momentum is down, middle time frame. Here's the opening range, 5 minute, right? 5 minute opening range. Great. Fantastic. Breaks to the downside, pulls back. Does it hit this drop-based drop? Looks like it just missed it, right? Could have been waiting for that. And then we get a signal here. Okay, so if you took the full length, which I think you can, I think you could have taken the full length here. Let's say this was your entry, sell 2. And there's your stop loss. Can we make it? Yeah, look at that. We made it there. There you go. So if you took the full length of the opening range, right, and you use this drop-based drop for structure, 2 contracts, $178 risk, and the move down, right? Move down, starts going sideways for the move, right? And then it's late in the day, right? So you got into this trade about 10:25, and you're going down, 12 o'clock rolls around. It's getting late in the day. Maybe you put your stop loss, up here, right above, and you get stopped out right there. So you could have scaled out, right? Take 1 contract off, and then it pulled back, right? So that gave us almost, right? What I'm looking at here gave us a 1.5. But if you took if you had a shorter entry like this, if you took the signal, right? If you took the signal candle, it looks more like this. 3 contracts. Two to 1. Right there. So yeah, I took the 5:30 a.m. Oh wow. Oh nice. Oh wow, nice, Kazi. Real nice. Yeah. And now we're back. Now we've pulled back up into pretty much the same area to go short again. But didn't I tell you guys? I'm like, I know they want to get back down to $70, right? I said it for the past week. They are looking to bring this back down into the 70s, and there we are, $70 and going lower. We got to start researching crude oil news and stuff because, I think in the Middle East, they're really controlling the oil. If the Middle East decides they're going to shut down production and jack the price up, that's when we're really going to see some kind of a big move. So news events now could be very sensitive and could really start to move the needle here, right? Could really start to move the needle on this one. So excellent. Awesome, Kazi. Great job, man. Making money. That is the name of the game. That is the name of the game here. All right, let's take a look. So today, today we've got sort of this sideways movement here, right? Got this sideways movement on the opening range. Candles are green on that 5-minute chart, but we're in a downtrend, right? We are in a downtrend. We're cycling up. Momentum is up on all time frames, but we're in a downtrend. So downtrend on both time frames, upward momentum. Sideways. That will definitely push things sideways. All right, so we've got to assume that this thing wants to pull up into the cloud somewhere, and we're already in that middle time frame trend cloud, right? So what are we waiting for? Well, we've got to wait for some sort of now here we go. We've got to break out to the downside here, but we really need a momentum shift, don't we? And you see all these wicks. Got all these wicking candles here. So there's some indecision here going on right now. There's some indecision here. Yes. The bag of money with the dollar sign on it. I love that. I love that. Okay. All righty. All right, guys. My voice is starting to go. So I think we're going to call it here. Excellent lesson today in mixed signals and, looking at stuff, taking those trend cloud signals on those time frames, the shorter time frames. So it's all about lining up that momentum on your high time frame. Is it also in alignment with that middle time frame? And then taking a look at those trend cloud signals on the lowest time frame there. Okay, so that I think let's end it there. Good lesson, guys. I will be back tomorrow. And if you're a Trend Cloud member and you haven't signed up or you haven't gone into the private Facebook group, that's our mastermind group. We're going to start doing live events just for Trend Cloud members only in there, and it should be really good. So I'll be setting that up as well. So if you're not a member yet, jump into the mastermind group, Trend Cloud Trading on Facebook. All right, guys, good one today. I will see everybody tomorrow, 9 a.m. Glad that the live stream is working again. Thank you, TradingView. We're having a great time here. So I will see everyone tomorrow, 9 a.m.